Echeverry marked by O'Carroll. Echeverry knifing through. Unbelievable.
Welcome to MLS Round Table, presented by Target. I am Andrew Wiebe, and we are here to talk soccer. In this three-part series, we will dig in onto a mythological position defined by a single number. The number 10, playmaker, central attacking midfielder, enganche, trequartista, fantastista, whatever you call it, Major League Soccer has a long and storied tradition with this great position. Joining me, four guys who don't need any introduction, but I'll do it anyway. To my right here, Alejandro Moreno, former Venezuela international and decorated MLS forward. I'm talking 272 appearances, 52 goals, 37 assists for 6 teams. Maybe most importantly, Alejandro, 3 MLS Cups, 4 Supporters Shields. You can catch him now on ESPN with their soccer
Keep going, keep going.
I know. I think a lot of other people won MLS titles as well. And next to him, Kyle Martino, an American number 10 who played 6 seasons with the Crew and LA Galaxy. These days, you can hear his dulcet tones on NBC Sports coverage of the English Premier League. To my left, Sacha, Kljestan, you know him well, Red Bulls midfielder and MLS's most productive assist man over the last 3 seasons, number 10 all-time in this league in dimes, and accumulating 55 caps for the U.S. national team. And last, but not least, Matt Doyle. You know him as the armchair analyst, a man who has 0 career assists, but does a bang-up job explaining the nuances of the game on MLSsoccer.com and Extra Time Radio every week. Guys, let's talk 10s. But for those of you at home that might be a little bit confused, maybe still wondering what the position entails, I'll just throw this at you. The reason why it carries so much cachet, so much respect, goals, assists, the guy pulling the strings, the man with the final pass, maybe he scores the goal himself if you're thinking guys through history who have worn the number. Diego Maradona, Pelé, Zinedine Zidane, Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, Zico, Francesco Totti, Michel Platini, the list goes on and on. You get the point. I will start with you, Sacha, a man who wears 16, but is maybe the top playmaker in this league right now. When I say number 10, when I say playmaker, enganche, what do you think? What comes to mind?
Best facial hair, for sure.
That didn't take long. Yeah, it didn't take long. We had to bring that up. First thing for me, I think, is vision. So for me as a number 10, I think my best quality is my vision and being able to see plays 1 or 2 steps ahead, knowing what I'm going to do with the ball before I get it. And I think the guys that have been the best number 10s over the history in our league are the guys that can see plays ahead of time and have the best vision.
When you say vision, it is seeing a pass that a number 10 has to have, but it's also seeing a picture before it happens. I mean, Sacha was one of the best at not letting you sort of catch him and throw him off because he had seen what he wants to do beforehand. And when I think about number 10s, I don't really think about a position, but a number 10 is someone that just has this ability to entertain. That's what's important to me. There's something about the way they play the game with a reverence, a mastery of the ball, a way to manipulate it, a way to bring others into the game that excites you when you watch them do it.
There's got to be a sense of an attitude about this player as well. Yeah. You got to want to be that guy, the guy that carries that responsibility of being the guy that has the vision or the movement of the ball and finding the pass, being able to execute and say, you know what, guys, you can all run around all you want, but you give me the ball, I'll figure it out from there. Do all the other things that you want to do, but this team is going to go because I'm able to find the pass, because I'm able to make the decisions, because I'm able to do something that nobody else on this field can do. Having that player in your team, knowing that that guy has that level of confidence, it frees everybody else up to play. It allows everybody else to understand what the roles are because you know this guy's going to find you with the ball.
And that's one of my favorite quotes of all time was Deschamps talking about Zidane. And he said, when we run out of ideas, we give it to Zizou, and he saves us. From the outside looking in, that's what the 10 is. He takes on that responsibility and wants the ball in the toughest parts of the field, understands that in order to make magic, you got to get kicked 5 times to do it, and you earn those chances to win the game.
And Zizou was described as one way that sort of translates to gloves on his feet. I mean, he has hands of his feet is how he plays. That's what I mean about sometimes it's just how they use the ball, how it's just not cumbersome, how it just comes with them. And and they sort of dance with it. I mean, that's what I grew up loving.
You're removing yourself from the number 10. You're saying they. You can say we. We're not going to judge you.
There's got to be an element of filth to the game.
Yes.
You got
Ariel Ortega. I mean, all these guys that others might have overlooked were the ones I just watched over and over and over.
I'm surprised because he wasn't noticeable in your game at all.
I'm trying to nutmeg someone every time I get the ball.
Alejandro, I really like what you said about you have to want to be that guy who wants to be on the ball, and it reminds me, I talked to Chris Armas, who was a defensive midfielder his whole career, but he got to play with 3 very special number 10s, Cienfuegos in LA, Peter Nowak in Chicago, and then Blanco. And I asked him who was the best of those 3 to play with, and he said Peter Nowak because he always wanted the ball. No matter where he was in the field, he said, give me the ball and I'll make something happen.
Where does that attitude come from? Where does that start? I mean, you hear about kids, they want the 10 jersey, even adult league soccer. The guy who wants the ball wants the 10 jersey. Where does the attitude, the willingness, the technical ability, the vision, where do those things come from?
I think that you have to have within you an innate ability to want to be the guy. So just to start off. And then you have the ability to back it up. You have the skill to back up that attitude. The kid that there's a penalty kick and he runs to the coach, he's 6, 7 years old, and he said, I'll take it. That kid, if he then has the ability and has the skill and matures into a player, that's the kid you want to watch, because that's the kid that is willing to say from very early on, I don't care about these other guys. I want to be the man. I want to have the ball. I want to be the guy who makes a name for himself. And right away, all of us that went through youth soccer, you start to pick out who the special players are. And you separate those special players from the others just based on attitude. Then you add the skill level to that, and then you have the brains and the maturation of a player, and then you continue to get attitude and filth like Cal Martino and the vision of Sacha Kljestan, and now all of a sudden there's a number 10 that comes around.
Well, it's a confluence of a lot of things, right? So it's a competitive drive to must win and want to take that responsibility on yourself. He brings ingenuity into the game when it's needed, and like Sacha was saying, they're not marked. They're never marked. There's never a time they don't want the ball. There's never a space too tight that they can't get out of. Number 10, I think, is built mostly on the field when it's not organized. I think that's one of the things that is making it harder to build a number 10 is so much is structured, so much of the environment now is controlled, where kids aren't testing out these tricks, the way you can see what a move does to a defender's body and learn that and have that muscle memory and then take that to the organized training environment, take that to the game that means something.
But all that's it's well and good, and I take what you're saying, but you need to have it within you, because if you don't have that attitude, all this skill and all this ball work doesn't carry a whole lot of weight if you don't want to be the guy that does a step over and a guy wants to make somebody look ridiculous.
That's it for part 1 of the MLS Roundtable presented by Target on number 10s. Thank you so much to our good friends at Target for making this discussion possible. We'll be back with part 2, talking about the current crop of stars that inspire us every week.